Looks like the government is going to reopen maybe by midnight tonight. As Axios puts it, MAGA is getting its groove back. MAGA finally feels it's winning again after a dramatic weekend of news, ending one of the nastiest internal fights over this government shutdown. You know who's going to have a bad day with the government reopening? Jack Smith, the special counsel. Wait till you hear what the Republicans sort of quietly inserted into the bill that is funding the legislative branch. Oh boy, it's not good for that crazed former special counsel, Jack Smith. More on that in just a moment. It's pretty revealing. But Mike Johnson has finally set a date to swear in this representative-elect. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Adelita Grijalva, I think. Grijalda, Gajalda, Gajuda, Garumva. I don't know how to say it. Adelita, Grijalva. I think it's Grijalva. Now, there's been a 50-day-long standoff between Speaker Johnson and the Democrats. They're accusing him of dragging his feet on swearing her in order to prevent a vote on releasing the Epstein files. She has promised she's going to be the final signature on a discharge petition that would trigger a vote on forcing the Justice Department to release documents from its case against the late convicted sex offender and billionaire financier. Johnson and the White House have pushed back against this effort to release the Epstein files, which has support from mostly Democrats and a handful of Republicans. Marjorie Taylor Greene comes to mind. I'm going to be blunt here. I don't like any aspect of this story, and let me tell you why. I just got into a debate with my producer. Tracy said, come on, does anybody care about the Epstein files? Oh, Tracy, you'd be surprised. And it does feel like there is something weird about what feels like an attempt to prevent the Epstein files from being revealed. You know, my conventional thinking is if they had dirt on Trump or key members of, the Republican Party, they would have revealed it when they had all the access to it all those years. But why did Mike Johnson resist swearing in Adelita? What was the delay about? And the optics of it, let's be real here, they don't look good. They don't look good at all. Look, put it out there. Marjorie Taylor Greene is right. Release the files. I think Trump, if I'm right about this, maybe you can fill in the blanks. I think he's worried that innocent people like him are going to get smeared because everybody knew Jeffrey Epstein. And he's afraid that, or not afraid, but he's concerned that if there are prominent people who are revealed to be in the supposed Epstein files, then they're going to get hammered because it's going to look like they're guilty of something that they're not. Knowing Jeffrey Epstein in and of itself isn't problematic. A lot of people knew him. He knew everybody on the right and the left. He was a player. He was a big player. Criminally, he was a monster who preyed on kids, who preyed on young girls. But it's just strange to me that there has been this, and I think Marjorie Taylor Greene has a point. Just put it all out there and let the American people figure it out. Go ahead and release the files. I mean, first of all, we've already been told there's no client list. I'm thinking it's been destroyed. I don't think there's any list laying around, but there evidently are files involving Epstein and his stupid island and his plane and all these shenanigans and likely horrific criminal behavior. The Democrats have tried repeatedly to get her sworn in, but Johnson has pushed back. Anybody know why? Can you tell me what the delay has been about? Can you explain to me why President Trump seems reluctant to release the Epstein files? Look, my inclination is to say, let's move on. But sometimes you shouldn't move on from things that the American people need to know or have a right to know. And I don't get any of the whole story gives me a kind of a headache. But let me turn it over to you and see if you've got some better insight than I have. We're in the Relief Factor studios for a busy Wednesday, November the 12th. Welcome aboard. Our number is 800-655-MIKE. One number does it all. Call or text 800-655-6453. Tell me what you think about, again, I'm just going to ask you I want to ask the smartest audience in America two important questions. Number one, why has Mike Johnson resisted swearing in? And I'm told by a texter, the J is silent, so I guess it's Grijalva. Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva is finally going to be sworn in after a 50-day standoff. What was the delay? Any idea? And why is President Trump seemingly unwilling to get these Epstein files out into the public and reveal them? Is he concerned that innocent people are going to get smeared? What's behind it all? Regarding the Epstein files, the exiled Prince Andrew must have been small potatoes that the Rothschilds were willing to discard him. There must be some Saudi royals overshadowing the supposed world leaders. Mike, here's Don. Why is it you never hear anything about the Epstein property in New Mexico? And finally, from Florida, Mike, you cannot release information like this. This was looked into for a criminal investigation. They decided not to charge anyone, so there's no reason to release grand jury information since there were no charges brought. I don't think it's ethical either. Let's see what you think. 800-655-MIKE. Mark's in Louisville. Mark, you're on the Mike Gallagher Show. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mark.
Yes, I was just calling about the Epstein files, and
Sure.
I believe it's a lot bigger than Trump. I believe these files are protecting Bill Clinton. If Bill Clinton was in this, the Democrats had plenty of times to open up those files and expose him. But Donald Trump wants to protect the integrity of our country. And if we expose Bill Clinton, it tarnishes our name of our country.
Wow, how interesting. So you think President Trump is trying to sort of protect Bill Clinton from exposure in this matter?
It may not be just Bill Clinton. There's probably numerous high officials that would just make our country look awful. And
yeah, but don't you think they should face an accountability, even if they are high-level officials, if they were harming children?
I think the reputation of our country is bigger than exposing these scumbags.
Well, all right. I got a hunch, Mark, that most people will disagree with your assessment. But let's see. 800-655-MIKE. 800-655-6453. Kurt's in Dallas. Hey, Kurt, welcome back. How are you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. I'm here, too. We're both here.
Okay. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
First-time caller, Mike. I love your show.
Thank you, Kurt. I appreciate you.
Listen to you for years.
Oh, thank you.
And you got to follow the money.
Yeah.
And following the money, how did Epstein get so wealthy that he could afford all this stuff?
Well, he had a guy. what was the guy's name? Les something? Remember the guy that had the big, he's from Ohio, I think, and he was like his benefactor, this real wealthy billionaire who kind of took Epstein under his wing. I can't remember, Les Waxter or Wachter or somebody, but Wexner maybe. And he was the guy that sort of, mentored Epstein, and I think got him all the money that he got.
I think the U.S. government is behind it, and they're covering up something. Usually the work of the CIA.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Kennedy files.
Yep.
Same thing with this stuff that's going over our heads in the sky that's doing stuff to our environment.
Yeah.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.